Here. Hey everybody, welcome to this workshop and live Q&A Zoom weekly call. With myself here right now we have friend Blake attending. So we're just having a little quick chat there before the record button. So I just thought we'd press the record button and start. Just because I felt the information is very relatable and we can all like relate and share this in common and have a shared experience and learn from each other and relate. So it's nice to connect that way. So yeah, my name's Owen and this is Blake. So yeah, would you like to keep sharing this amazing story that I'm really enjoying, Blake? That's very relatable to me and everybody else. Anything you want to share, and then also we can get into more Q&A as well, or a specific
Uh,
topic as well if you have one as well. Yeah, go ahead.
sure, sure. Yeah, we were just talking how sometimes we spontaneously start our health routine, like which happened to my wife because she was sick and she started fasting. Um,
Yeah,
and I think
10
she also got a little bit of a taste for it,
was it 10-day water fast?
She was yeah, almost it was almost like a water fast.
That's
She was
fantastic.
drinking a lot of hot tea,
Lovely,
a lot
lovely,
of
lovely.
water and lemon juice.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's good because if you have it, I think sometimes if you have an infection, the only thing I've heard ever that water fasting can sometimes not fully deal with, or dry fasting, which usually deals with almost everything, is sometimes an out of control microbial or bacterial or infection. So usually taking some herbal tea or herbs along with like water or juice can really help kickstart the downsizing and elimination of, you know, those type of infection, basically speaking, that's gone out of control. So sometimes herbs can be amazing allies, and for the vast majority of times, just simply water fasting or water fasting with some tea or whatever else, herbal tea, will do the job for almost everything. Coupled with the
mhm.
correct diet and breaking the fast afterwards, which your wife did amazingly. She broke it on the lovely
Agree.
grade.
Yeah, yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah, well done to her. How is she feeling now, and how did she get on during those 10 days?
She was pretty grumpy. Poor
Um,
girl. But and
That's
she was really
understandable.
weak. And she's still weak, but
It's
but
understandable.
I
Normal.
think she got I think she got a little bit of a taste for it.
Yeah.
She's also been trying some enemas, and then she was
Oh,
quite
well,
shocked. She was
that's
quite
well
shocked at
done.
how much stuff was coming out of her body even after 3 or 4 days of not eating.
I know, man. Tell me all about it. I know them very well. They say most Americans have like around something like 15 to 30 pounds of old poop and impacted waste in their colon, or not their colon, their small and large intestines, not just their colon, which is the large intestine. The
Uh,
small intestine is much longer than the large intestine, around 7 to 9 times our height. So it's like it's a huge, big, winding path which can gather
yeah.
all sorts of. Yeah, enemas rock, especially if you're like doing fasting, in my opinion, as well. But even in general, they're really, really, really helpful to do periodically or regularly even. So yeah, tell me more. So she got out, like, did she get any worms, parasites, or was it just like candida, mucus, or just poop and waste?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I didn't quite get into the details, but um yeah, I think she just did have a lot of solid stuff come out. So that was a new experience for her, you know.
Yeah,
Um
amazing. Well done.
she's I don't know. I think she's naturally like a very skinny person like you. She's like a Vata in
Yeah,
Ayurveda, you know, the three. But then she's also like yeah, she's kind of gotten a little out of balance. You know, she's from Nepal. So she grew
oh,
up in kind of different, like a little more natural circumstance. But she
oh,
also had a very hard life when she was a kid. So
yeah, yeah,
I don't know. I think maybe like the idea of fasting was kind of she didn't like it. Maybe it made her feel a little uncomfortable. But then I think after she started doing it, I think yeah, I think she realized that she has kind of like it could be kind of good for her. Like she's kind of like accumulated some
yeah,
excess stuff in her body, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you can
So
also do, like fasting days. Like if you, people, some people keep track of how many days they've juice feast or water fasted or ate a raw vegan diet, for example, or whatnot. and it all adds up. It really does. It takes decades to inflict damage and hurt and pain and sort of like disease production in our body, and blockages and cloggages and malfunctioning and impaired function. And it takes literally years and years and years and often decades, depending on how much fasting we're doing or juice feasting, to actually to reverse it all. It's just the wheels of like rolling a car, you have to reverse just as far. You don't teleport backwards. You have to reverse. If you go forward in your car, you roll backwards. So like the wheel of karma, you cause effects and then you have to make new karma to cause the undoing of the effects. So
Right.
I know people like who have done thousands of days of 1,000 days water fasting. Uh, that's Lauren Lockman. That's a lot of days of water fasting. And John Rose has done 3,000 days of juice feasting. And it's amazing. And I know Eli Martyr and also Orville Douglas, they're both fruitarians. They're all like raw foodists or fruitarians to different degrees, fruitarian. But Orville is basically almost 100% fruitarian, with the odd occasion of going to restaurants to socialize where he eats a little bit of raw vegan food on the rare occasion. But they've all done water fasting, Eli and Orville. Orville used to do like, I think, 421 water fasts per year. And Eli and Orville have done like for many years, did 1 day water fast a week and sometimes 3 days at the beginning of a new month. So it all adds up. And then you can switch your diet like so much easier. Your body's so much more efficient, clean, and working and less toxic. Water fasting is like the real deal. It's the real deal. We can either do a big one supervised or we can do it ourselves and gradually get experience and build up. A bit like the way your wife did, although she plunged into a 10-day, which is pretty instinctual and she felt right to do that. And other people could just start doing like bunches of 2 or 3 days and work up from there as well. So yeah, it's absolutely monumental. It's like God's sources, universe's like gift of natural healing for ourselves. 100% natural, 100% self-sufficient, and 100% free. And it's just truly incredible. And obviously, if you want to use gifts of herbs, as you say in America, um, nature's gifts for help assisting detoxification and repair. That's a real beautiful
Yeah.
thing. Blessing.
Yeah, I was just reflecting that last week you said herbs are not going to work unless you're really on the high fruit, like a raw
Well,
diet, or they will,
no,
well, they'll work, but maybe they'll work much less.
yeah,
But
nourishing herbs definitely always work, but the more like the detoxing herbs, they work definitely much better when on a juicier, liquidier type of diet, like high in fruits or even just liquids. They do help. They support the body in what it's already strongly doing, which is clearing out the channels, clearing out the organs, clearing out the
right.
lymph and blood, and all the organs. So yeah, there's different herbs or herbs. Yeah, I take herbs no matter what I'm doing. Typically speaking, I find they always work, to be honest, no matter what. Like recently, I've been taking nettle powder and it helps my kidney filtration. Because we were speaking about kidney filtration last week, and I remember when we finished, I thought I've touched upon some very important, like super important things, but I never got around to the whole idea of like intermittent dry fasting. For even like, you can't even really call it dry fasting because most animals do this naturally in nature. They don't drink the second they get out of bed or wake up in the new day. Like
Yeah.
intermittent fasting, so to speak, like if you can call it that, is just, for example, like for 1, 2, 3, 4 hours upon rising and waking up, you just don't eat or drink anything. And like, that's in nature. We might be socializing, doing little bits of work, might be collecting water, or we might be collecting food, we might be just talking or looking after our kids or our elders. We don't always necessarily in nature jump into drinking. So that's why I said calling it a fast. It's debatable, or an opinion or perspective, if we call it fast for just not eating for a few hours only, or not
Yeah.
drinking even. But yeah, that definitely helps like the kidneys to kickstart filtration big time. I definitely find I've been doing that recently, and the odd enema, just two or three in the last month or 2 months, maybe not much. But yeah, between that little bit of enema, a bit of dry fasting for maybe 1 to 3 hours upon rising, don't eat or drink anything, it'll definitely help filtration big time. Yeah. And like I said, I won't repeat what I said last week. Anyone can go back and look at the past workshops and weekly Zoom calls. Yeah. But yeah, that's really helpful for clearing out the lymph system and just giving the body a well-needed digestive break, and the kidneys, because the kidneys deal with liquids. So to give the kidneys a break also, that's when you just take a little break, and then you can drink and eat later after a few hours, so after the initial break during the new day, so. Alternatively, you can start just simply finish eating and drinking much sooner. That'll even support your sleep even better. So you could do the intermittent dry micro fast upon nighttime instead of upon waking. You could do either way.
Sure.
I check my
Yeah,
pee. Do you check your pee, or are you filtering much, or have you noticed differences, or?
No, I never really checked it.
Yeah.
But definitely now, compared to like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I feel much more hydrated.
Nice.
Now that I have at least just like stopped drinking coffee, and I'm trying to drink a little more juice.
Fantastic. They say
And then
coffee
also,
acidic and impairs with nutrient absorption, so that's not a good thing. It also depletes our Jing and adrenal life force energy, which isn't a good thing either. That's what caffeine does.
right,
It also
yeah,
affects sleep quality, which again, a lot of bad things about it. But yeah, my last video was all like that we did last week, which is in the workshop replays. That's just a lot about caffeine and giving up addictions and patterns and habits in general, and how to go about it holistically. If anyone's interested in watching this in the future. But yeah, you've given up that, and you've started eating like much more fruits and maybe juice or water.
yeah, yeah,
How you-
yeah. Especially in the last 3 days, have
Nice.
been, yeah,
How are you
have been
feeling?
much more. I'm feeling good. I mean, I don't feel much different, but I have like internal motivation to just go for it this summer,
Yeah,
like fully raw, you know? Um,
nice. Mhm.
I mean, I was getting like in your mind starts spinning while you're like making the juice, and you imagine, okay, I'll just go for 90 days, the whole
Yeah,
summer. And
you've got time to do it, to do anything
but then,
remotely along those lines. Summer's always a good time.
yeah, yeah. But I
Warmer,
think
it's sunnier.
exactly. No, no, I live and die for summer, man. I can't.
Me
I
too,
hate
man.
winter so much. I hate winter.
Me too. With children, winter is very tougher, much tougher depending on where you are living in winter. I 100% fully understand where you come from. I feel the same way now. I never was overly bothered with winter until having toddler. Then it's just a bit of a game changer when you have harsher. It seems then harsh and windy and cold and wet then, and
Yeah.
it's enough. It's a lot to do then that impacts our kids. So yeah, I feel you. So yeah,
Yeah, for me it was once I lived away from winter, and then I realized, oh, I can actually like bypass it. And then I had to go back to winter. It was kind of like
similar to me.
suffering.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, same me. Like yeah, when you go on a holiday or a trip, or you live somewhere else for a while and you experience more sunny weather more consistently, then it's different when you go back again. Yeah, 100%.
Uh-huh.
So yeah. Is your yeah, that's good. So your wife's just getting back into the swing of things with eating again. And make sure she has enough water. It's good to sip water on a water fast, like sip, 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 not gulp, not gulp, 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 or like have loads of it. It's always good to drink into your intestines, which will hydrate your intestines and any old impacted material like mucoid plaque. Whereas you drink a big glass or two at a time or more, it just goes flushed out of your kidneys into your pee. Whereas you do a small like micro drip, like little sips
Uh-huh.
ongoingly, um, then that's the optimal way to rehydrate any mucoid plaque or old dehydrated acidic impacted material. So yeah, it's optimal to do that. Just give you a little tip.
Oh. Yeah, her big problem, she has like I think she's a little bloated. She has like acid reflux,
Yeah.
like and that has been going on for a long time. Like since we moved or
Mm,
since we got married, like 14 years. Um
okay.
and yeah, so I was telling her I think just to do those raw fruits, it
Yeah.
would be like but it would be like a huge change for her,
Yeah.
Like none of our friends are really interested in these kind of things. They're more like rice
Yeah.
dal and cooked vegetables like once or twice in a day,
Yeah. 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 Yeah, no, I've experienced like the only time I've never experienced like acid reflux in a raw vegan diet ever. Like all 18 years I've been mostly or all doing it. I've never, but I've definitely have experienced many times by having certain cooked foods that were just even vegan. So if you're
Hmm.
eating non-vegan foods that are cooked, you're definitely going to be acidifying, congesting, impacting, blocking up your organs, your lymph system, your your arteries, capillaries, and veins, and venules, and everything else. There is going to be a cloggage and a slowing down of optimal circulation. Um, it's good to know that as we like try and readapt and shoot for and get back to eating more raw foods, you know, because there are like massive benefits. Even dreams are affected for me the more I eat like raw living foods or simple. Yeah, yeah, definitely. My dreams tend to go away in cooked food. But yeah, I hope I've also heard people like getting rid of acid reflux and everything else on a raw vegan diet, and you know, yeah. So the list just goes on and on. Like it's endless benefits, including mood and happiness, and less touchy, less irritable, less grouchy, less reactive.
Uh-huh.
You can still get reactive. You still have old trauma wounds and reactions that come up, of course, but just less. So definitely much better. Less arguments eating raw food diet in my experience. Like I'd know, yeah, for sure.
Uh,
There's
you
so
feel
many
like
things.
you feel
Yeah,
like it calms your mind down?
big time. Yeah, big time. Especially fruits and eating simpler. When you add in spices and loads of different stuff, like if you add in onion and garlic and like cayenne pepper and chili and any stimulants, especially stimulants, you'll have less calm of mind. But if you the simpler you eat, or at least just raw vegan diet, it definitely calms down. Yeah, much, much. Yeah, I know most people don't realize how much they're worrying and anxious and from what they're eating and drinking. You know, they don't connect the dots, but it really is significant. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so all right, let me ask you this. So I know you do like you say, like relationship coaching
Yeah.
or even like spiritual coaching.
Yeah,
And
relationship and even helping conscious parenting, but high vibrational, more soulmate type of relationships. Yeah.
so then like for me, I just have my Krishna consciousness experience, right? And I've been doing that for like 20 years. And
I love it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, I love it. It's the best. But that's more like it's more like Christianity, it's more like it's like monotheistic. And
Yeah.
so there's less like like ideas about like slowing your mind down, or like, like being in the present moment. Uh,
Yeah. It's a lot
yeah,
about
those kind
chance.
of things, those kind of things are like good. And people say, yeah, yoga is definitely good. It makes you
Yeah.
look 10 years younger.
Yeah.
Or, Hare Krishna is definitely eat too much for sure. That all of them. That's
Well, it's
our,
nice.
and myself included. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying that like that's just
It's
how it is,
nice. Nice, like
So
Indian food,
it's like
dal, and
really heavy food too. So, but I'm just curious, like, do you have like what is your experience or uh like I don't know. I mean what is how did you learn or what is your like spiritual practice? Uh and maybe I wouldn't even say like spiritual practice, just like mindfulness practice or something which is helping you to
yeah, yeah, yeah.
deal with people better. Or like
Mm,
I do have like
good questions. Yeah,
yeah, I think okay, like when I'm working with an infant, I know I have to like calm myself down because the kid is gonna like pick up exactly what is going on in my mind. That's why I like working with those kids because you have to be like they'll like mirror you back. So you have
yeah,
to
yeah.
really like calm them down and you have to calm yourself down. So but I'm wondering like how do you do that or what is like how did you learn these things? Like do you have a coaching training or are these just things you have put together over the years that work for you?
I have a program for like people who are really serious with this and really want to make like the fastest, easiest, most effective, and the most fun and enjoyable and most smooth progress in their life, either with their relationships and either attracting and preparing for or creating if they're already in a much higher vibrational, more soulmate type of connected and harmonious, joyful relationship, or also I do also health because I've been studying and learning and practicing it for 18 years. Also, my biggest passion is definitely the inner work related to yourself, your relationship with yourself, with life and the world, and your partner. That's my biggest passion. That's by far the hardest, but I also happen to have extensive knowledge and expertise related to like physical health and diet and cleansing and healing the body. So, you know, I've tried to like narrow down to maybe just like one thing, like the whole like my main passion, but it's hard to exclude the other because like yourself, there's a lot of people who either know me or are looking to me for help with the health. But
Uh-huh.
I my main topic is definitely what I just mentioned, but the whole like relationship with self, life, and the world, and then your partner, or at least preparing for a partner. So I do have like I give everything away for free, like my 11 video courses and also my 2 books for free, and the community is free. But if people want like one-to-one, like more like group work or like more direct work with me, then there's the weekly calls. But if I also have a program which right now I'm just figuring out the name, but I'm thinking of just like calling it the like the goals program for achieving all of these things I mentioned, like the gold program for like relationship and health of our dreams to achieve your perfect dream life, and health and relationship. So I do have a
Uh-huh.
program with them. I um I can get into the specifics of that. Like if anyone's interested in that, like they just need to like just simply hop on a little call with me and we can discuss it. But that's like I'm excited with that and I love that and I'm very passionate about doing that where I work much closer with the people for much closer help one like with me and much more direct access to me. So yeah, that's one way which I do. And for people who want, because when you do it all by yourself, it's much slower, it's harder. It's like trying to assemble, like, let's say, a flat pack or assembling a furniture you buy, and you're given the instructions and then you're trying to have to figure it all out for yourself. But with the lives, like bigger group calls or the like sometimes calls, then you're getting some hand to hand like help. You're getting like support directly from the person who knows what they're doing. It's like going to a mechanic instead of trying to fix your car yourself. But if you
Yeah.
do the gold program, then you're getting way more support of like holding hands and help, much more direct. And then like it's just like any problem you have, any issue, any challenge, you can connect to me, contact me, be in touch with me, as well as calls like this at more frequent basis, and additional bonus material. And that's where you can really make like from the slowest and most hardest, so to speak, which I kind of done it a lot. But then I started learning to get a bit of help. Then you get it's easier, it's faster, it's more fun and happier. But then the most help, it's the easiest, nicest, happiest, most fun, most harmonious, and most smooth. So yeah, that's like the 3 different things that I do, the 3 different levels of support. Um, if you have any questions on that, feel welcome to share. Otherwise, I could get on to like some of my practices or things that help me in relationships and life as well.
Is that like do you do a lot of visualization?
Yeah, I do some. Yeah, yeah. I think it's good to visualize and feel. Yeah, definitely to feel into like what it feels like to have what we want, what we're really
Mhm.
passionately yearning for and wanting and desiring from our hearts, for not only our good but even the highest good of others. Not just where there's a we win, but others lose, but more like where everybody wins. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think it's very important to like feel into the new way of living, the new life that we're aspiring for. Yeah, that's powerful and effective. It helps attract it to us and it helps us to take action as well because we are like creators, powerful creators. It might sound cliche, powerful creators to creator beings, but it really is true. Like we're all constantly creating or cause and effect or karma. Every single time we talk, think, say, and do or behave, we're creating results for us and others around us. It's amazing to think that. And sometimes
Yeah.
we can undo or change what we say and do to others. We get massive, profoundly different relationship effects as a result, or also even just with ourselves towards how we view and live in the world. So it is pretty amazing to think that.
No,
Yeah.
it's very exciting to think that.
Yeah, I feel that way. Yeah, it is exciting. it's great to know that, because for so much of the so-called unconscious life, we don't know that, and we're just like being blown around like a fallen leaf in the breeze, in the wind, and we don't really know what we're doing, where we're going, what we want, and we're not getting the results we want because we might even know the results we're looking for, and we're just like living sort of somewhat automatic, preconditioned life or conditioned life. Yeah, yeah. So that's part and part of the soul. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I just view it all like it's as if the soul like goes through the same ways like we're baby, infant, toddler, preteen, adolescent, or teenager, and then an adult, but still a young enough adult, and our brain doesn't finish developing apparently until 25. It could be, who knows if that's fully true, it could be even more than that. And then like we're in our 20s, then we're in our 30s, we're in our 40s, like we keep growing and evolving and maturing. So I think like the soul is very, very like that, really, in so many ways to simplify it, like totally like that. Yeah. So nothing is wrong or bad, just different levels of awareness and knowledge and wisdom. That's all. And
Right.
power and responsibility.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
Do you like to write? Like, are you real organized since you're a Capricorn?
And Capricorn's supposed to be organized. No, I'm really not. I'm not organized, but I'm generally passionate or focused and consistent. So, due to my personality archetype, which is
Capricorns are
like,
consistent.
huh?
Capricorns are consistent.
I didn't even
They're
know that.
consistent and they're hardworking. And they're the most
Hardworking.
ambitious sign, yeah.
Ah, cool. Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty ambitious. Like, I never use that word about me. So, but when you say that, it resonates because I'm very,
Or you
very
have big
driven.
dreams.
I'm very driven, and I want to get what I want. Like, I'm focused and determined to don't settle for like something like way worse than I could and I can get and I deserve and I can create if I work towards it. So most of my ambition, I'd substitute the word ambition for me recently in my life with perfectionist. I don't know if that's even the right word. I'm not a perfectionist. I'm more like continuous. Like, I try and be continuous and consistent. But like idealist. Yeah, I think that's it, the word. I like to shoot for ideals,
Yeah.
but I'm not a perfectionist by any stretch of the imagination because like I'm not like nitpicking and stressed and giving out when me or others around me aren't perfect, because I know that we're not perfect and we all make mistakes. Sometimes it's messy at times, for sure, mentally, physically, or emotionally. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely not that, but I do like to shoot for my dreams. And in the past, it was never materialistic related ever in the slightest bit. That was totally in the back burner. So it was more like inner inner positive qualities and feelings and relationships and health, I suppose, as I grew up. Yeah, as I grew up as an adult. So yeah, yeah, that's interesting that you say that. Are you Capricorn and your wife?
No, but I'm really interested in astrology, you know? So
Fantastic.
I'll
Yeah.
just tell you, my old boss, he was from South Africa, and he grew up swimming. He got a full scholarship, Division I, to the University of Arizona. He was fifth in the Olympic trials in South
Wow.
Africa, which is not as good as being fifth in America because America is like a big swimming place, and it's a
Yeah, like
big, huge country. So they
Michael
say
Phelps.
like, yeah. So for the U.S. Olympic trials, supposed to be like the second Olympics, because just because it's very competitive. That's all I'm saying. But still,
I
fifth
know.
for South Africa, that's still really good.
It
And
is,
he
yeah.
has three planets in Capricorn, and
Ah,
he was like, yeah, super driven, kind of perfectionist. But anyways, then he also, so he owns the pool, and then he has his swim team, and then he
yeah.
has swim teachers under him, right?
Okay.
And he himself also does infants. But the other thing he does is he coaches professional triathletes. And so
Wow.
there's two, yeah, in Tucson, tons of people come in the winter, because it's warm and they can ride their bikes and run, and it's warm and they can swim outdoors. So, anyways, there was these two professional triathletes that are pretty big, Lionel Sanders and Sam Long. if you Google their names, these guys are like very, very like high up professional triathletes. And
Wow.
then so I looked up their birth information, and they both have like 4 or 5 planets in Capricorn. They're
Wow.
very Capricorn.
Interesting. I
Yeah,
know, like,
so I think like it gives you that ability to do like the hard work that it takes to reach like a high level is what
interesting.
I'm is what I'm that's my
Wonderful.
analysis.
Fascinating. Thanks for sharing that, Blake. I appreciate that. I didn't know all that sort of stuff. Yeah, one thing I noticed in my life is I get an interest and I really like push hard at it fast and I get really good at it faster. That could have taken me years. And then I drop it when I get really good at it. I might get bored or I might get really good at it and then I give it up and then I take on something different and I get really good at that and then I drop that and then something different. And I've done that in numerous things in my life. And what I found was the whole like topic of personal growth and development and spirituality, like that's just a lifelong thing. That's just you're never going to just maybe you could, but I don't know. You probably won't. Like you'll always be working on that till the day we pass on, and that's a huge reason why souls come here anyway to learn this hardcore lessons and stuff in so many areas. Like you know, it's just sort of like kind of really hard in a way to get like really amazingly good at it where you just feel like I'm an expert, I can just drop it now and move on to something different because then maybe you just die. That would be the different thing you start then because this is a lifelong process. So yeah, one thing I got an astrological reading in the past, they said nearly all my stuff was related to health and relationships. Imagine that. And that's pretty much what I'm doing, and that was like around 10 more than 10 years ago, so maybe 15 years ago. So it seems to be pretty true. Health challenges and lessons, and then also definitely relationship ones as well, big time. Yeah. So that's what I teach. Like that's basically what I said to you earlier. Like that's what my program is about, and that's what this community is about. It spills into conscious parenting, but that's not the main thing. That's not the main focus. That's like a side shoot. And it seems most people are much more needing of help with relationships and emotions and their own relationship themselves, their partner. They want a relationship that's really lovely, or else they want to like get rid of a health problem and achieve better health. So that's what I seem to be doing. Fascinating.
Yeah, I was having a bit of trouble with my boss also. This is like 2 years ago, right?
Mm.
And
Not the
because he's
first.
just like yeah, this guy is he's like he's incredibly nice. He's really good. He taught me a lot about teaching swimming,
Yeah.
and then also about like coaching on the deck. Um, but he has such a bad temper, you know. That
Yeah.
may be I think Capricorns have a little bit of temper. Um,
Mm.
but everybody's mixed, you know. So
Yeah.
everyone is mixed. You know, you may have just your sun in Capricorn, and that may be the only thing, you know. In otherwise, you're definitely have some Libra in you, you know.
Okay.
I think. I mean, I don't know. Libra is the sign that's all about relationships.
I didn't know
Libra
that.
in the
Oh,
seventh house. So you must have something that's pushing you that way. But anyways,
lovely.
when I was talking to this person who is also a really good astrologer, counselor kind of person, he told me because I was like, I can't take this guy anymore. I got to leave, but I don't
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
But I just can't take it. It's just too much for me. And he just told me, Blake, we should all be able to get along with everybody. So just
Yeah.
stick with it and
That's,
try and, you know,
that's the
yeah.
ideal. Yeah.
So I guess, I mean, I would be interested in your perspective, how you stay cool and also, try to get along with everybody.
Yeah, I like that. That's a really, really, really good, deep, 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 deep question and topic. I do like that. Well, the first thing that came to mind that I want to say is that there's only that's a beautiful ideal and that's a very high level, but we have to accept where we are compared to if we're an infant, we can't be expecting to do adult stuff or teenage stuff.
Yeah,
We can't
yeah,
expect to be a master when we're not we're an early student. Um, but we work towards it as a process of life. The other thing I want to say is spiritual bypassing can sometimes that could be a spiritual idea, and it's beautiful and it's true. It's great to work towards, but we could hurt ourselves by sticking in a place or a relationship that we can't truly, even though we'd like to, and it's a beautiful concept, but if we truly physically daily can't really handle it properly, and someone is being negative or hurtful or destructive or stressing the heck out of us, that's the truth and the reality. And there's only so much that we can like change how that makes us feel. We can't just say magic wand, I want to be able to get on with everyone. Oh, lovely, I'm so happy now. Life doesn't
Right.
work that way. So
Yeah.
spiritual bypassing is bypassing the factual daily real truths of the world and how we feel and where we're at by trying to bypass all that, shove it under the covers by saying, hey, I should be able to handle anything. Or, love, like love is all there is, or like other spiritual truths that on one level and plane might work, but on our level and plane, it definitely might not work.
Right.
Um, or like unconditional love. So what might be needed if someone is like being angry or stressing us out so much, or like disrespecting us, or like crossing our boundaries by getting in our face, or like being rude and telling us what to do too much when it's not their place, that they don't have any authority, or just there's all sorts of ways where people can get in our bubble or face energetically or physically too much, and it's not acceptable. And then if people are doing this and we can't change it, or we don't know how to change it, then there's often a time and space to step back and leave something, be it a romantic relationship or a family member or a mom or a dad or an employee, a working like coworker or a boss. Sometimes we need to look after ourselves and practice what I call like self-care and self-love. And that's to protect ourselves and to nurture ourselves. So if there you go, I hope that's pretty much it really. So like if you were able to change yourself enough to make it work, that's good. Or if you're able to communicate with him enough to make him change it a bit enough to make it work, then it could be like okay, or it could be good. Like sometimes you can really like do some learning. It could be a catalyst and an inspiration to change, and we learn something new and positive things happen. We change, we act differently, we become a little bit of a different creator. Then we co-create a different type of scenario and relationship and situation with the person who we might be having challenges with. And then it could be like if a nice relationship or a flourishing or budding relationship. Other times it doesn't change or it gets worse. And we may have to simply, like I said, withdraw or leave, including cutting certain ties with, let's say, a parent or a sibling, because they are very unconscious and negative and destructive, and they just do nothing but mostly bring us down. And that's what like narcissistic and self really negatively self-absorbed, selfish behavior is about. It's about someone's out for their win, but at the loss of us. So we have to be aware of protecting and loving or caring for ourselves if things are on the extreme end of the stick. So that's really important. It really is, because otherwise we can get trampled on and depleted, and the life sucked out of us or sapped out of us. But it's all a spectrum. It could be amazing. You could make a best friend, you know, or you could make like it could be very destructive for us if somebody's that to us. So it's a
Right. Yeah.
spectrum. We have to figure out, is this working for me or not? And can we make this like a bit of a win-win or a more positive situation? Yeah. Does that answer your question? Give you insight in that regard?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was a million times happier after I left working with him.
You left work.
Like I
Yeah, you
learned a
left.
lot from him. I learned a lot from him. But and it could have possibly worked out if I was just working for him like half the year in the summer, but we were trying to make it work the whole year round. And
Yeah.
uh
Some people aren't
yeah,
the
anyway,
dance
so
type.
some of the
If
things just didn't click.
any
And so we
business
just had to
relation.
break.
Sorry, say it again.
I said some of the things they just didn't click.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so then just circumstance kind of like forced us to break
There you
up.
go. People come into our life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime, and they stay for a season, a reason, or a lifetime, and then they might go. And a relationship, be it a business person or a friend, a family member, or especially a partner, it's a tango. It's a dance, and it takes two people to dance. you can't heal another one person, you can't change another person, you can't make someone else a good dance partner, a good business partner. So there's
Uh-huh.
definitely a time and place to cut the tie and seek self-love and self-protection from someone who's being destructive or at least quite negative or just not being a nice partner or like a dance partner
Right.
in whatever form of relationship you have going with them. That
Yeah.
definitely applies to parents too, because there's an awful lot of people being messed around, hustled and bustled and busted by their family, and they're miserable and sad and depressed. It's just, yeah, there's no excuse, including blood relation, for messing around other people or being messed around and accepting that behavior, you know. I'm glad you left. It was meant to be, and you said it. You felt way better having leaving because he wasn't going to be a good dance partner. He wasn't going to be able to be a respectful, kind, and friendly person to be dealing with on a regular basis.
Hmm.
There you go.
Yeah, I have that tendency, like I get comfortable and I don't want to leave, even when situations are bad. But as I've gotten older, I've like
Everybody.
finally figured out.
It's funny, isn't it? Our comfort zones. I know exactly what you mean there, Blake. Yeah, me too. I think everybody's like that. Like the fear of the unknown and feeling comfortable in the uncomfortable sometimes can be less scary than going to the uncomfortable place of the unknown, you know? So again, that's a spectrum. We have to go within, do a lot of inner work, be very honest with ourselves and others, and see if it can be transformed or if we need to change, even though that's scary. Sometimes, yeah, for sure. Sometimes be very scary, or at least scary and uncomfortable to change. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and can I tell you what one temple president at Hare Krishna temple told me when I
Yeah.
asked her about like should I take this job, but I like
Yeah.
this other job, uh, and she told me, Blake, she's also a very successful business person.
Yeah.
Like, because each temple is kind of like its own entity, at least it's supposed to be. And so they have to be financially independent. And so this person, you know, maybe because she's a woman, so she's really expert at decorating everything really nice. And she created a really nice restaurant in Tucson. It's been open for like 30 years.
Lovely.
Govinda's
Yeah.
restaurant. And
Beautiful. I used to go to
yeah.
Govinda's. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, she told me, Blake, one frog will not jump from one lily pad into the next lily pad until it has a firm grip on the first one.
Uh,
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So can I tell
Interesting.
you what is my goal?
Yes,
Right?
please.
So my goal is just to be a independent swim instructor where I rent my own pool space and I schedule my own clients, right? And I collect my own dues. Uh,
Yeah.
but I'm like scared to death to do it because I'm a little unorganized and I
Oh,
procrastinate a little bit. But I've been like slowly inching my way that way.
yeah. Good.
So
Good.
now I feel like I'll have this summer, okay? And I feel like I'm gonna have to either like continue where I am, but that's gonna hold me back from my like ultimate goal with what I want.
Mm. Yeah.
Also in the structure that I take the students, because I want to take students where they just come for 6 weeks, but they come every day for they come 5 days a week for 6 weeks, and then I take a new batch. Um,
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah, because they learn those survival skills, the rollover and float and everything. But right now I have to do it in like a hybrid kind of way where I just take the kid like once or twice because the parents don't want to commit to so much. But I have like unlimited kids to pool because I work at a private club that has a big preschool and a daycare. But
Okay.
still, it's not just what I want. But I'm learning, and I have a
Yeah.
good boss who gives me a lot of respect.
Uh,
Uh, so, oh, and I think my goal and what I need to do is eventually at the end of the summer, I need to just say, okay, I'm only going to work at the club in the morning, and then in the afternoon, I got to try and build my own thing. And then eventually I have to like just make myself independent. And then
would you need?
eventually I have to make myself independent and train other instructors.
Yeah, epic. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah, that's like that sounds really good. It's like having a bigger business where you get people employed by you as well. And would you need to rent your own pool? Like, would you need to get your own place
Yeah.
to start your own business?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go out in the hallway because my kiddo's waking up. It's making a lot of noise.
That's perfect. It's a
Um,
good time. It's pretty much been close to it. Well, we've been chatting for over an hour, but it's been recorded now for 53 minutes. So that's really,
oh,
really, really,
sorry, I
really
didn't notice.
hearing your goals. It's exciting, isn't it? I love to hear,
Yeah,
feel you getting closer to that.
yeah. So you know, I've heard like uh, you should work on yourself more than you work on your job, and that will attract what you need. So maybe this like going raw,
Yeah.
detoxing, that will help me to like be less of a procrastinator, be less
I think
fearful, and get some
you'd be
things out of my head.
yeah, it will. You'll have like better like flow. Every channel will flowing better and circulating better. Your meridian system, your nervous system, your blood, your lymph, and your organs. There'll be better like transportation of nutrients and better transportation of waste or toxins or even cellular or metabolic waste too. You know, just it will you out of our body. So like it'll be better. Like my creativity is definitely enhanced in a raw vegan diet, big time. And I'm less like slouchy like a sloth after eating like heavier meals, you know, that
Mhm.
are not of my optimal like agreeability to my body, like cooked foods, for example. You know, like it definitely everything for me is better in my life when I eat a raw vegan diet, personally speaking. Yeah, it helps my relationships big time. I'm less grouchy, less touchy, more energetic. It helps my business, my work. I create more content. I'm clearer in conversations or talking to people. I'm just happier. I'm even more fun and jokey. I play more. I'm more silly. Like I'm just happier. I might whistle more or hum or dance or sing or skip. Like these type of things that happen when you're in a really good mood happen more often. And my dreams happen better, like more clear and like the list is it just literally affects everything. I know it's a process, like I said, the previous like time we chatted a week ago, and I'm not like harsh on myself or I'm not harsh or condemning others. I'm just saying this is the benefits that I've experienced and so many others. So it really does translate. Like Gillian Berry and also like other people have said like their wealth went up loads when they switched to a raw vegan diet. So
Wow.
yeah, like loads, as well as a life change and career change or you know that type of stuff. You don't have to change career, you can just maybe enhance your current goals and career. But that could be the case 100% too. So yeah, it's pretty
Mhm.
impressive. It's not the only thing, but it's a very significant thing. And it's not just physical, it is also a mental, emotional journey to switch your diet. It's not just
Yeah.
physical. Like, to become like to become excellent at anything, there has to be physical and mental and emotional component, even spiritual, so to speak, to shift within us to create an outer shift in our action and behavior and habits and routines, etc. So yeah, it's a big thing. Like it's a holistic, like body, mind, spirit thing to like change your diet and to change your outer life. So yeah, you're on the right path and you're doing great. So I keep it up and yeah, I look forward to seeing how things keep progressing for you,
Okay.
getting
Yeah,
stronger and stronger.
yeah, hopefully I'll have something good to report when I meet you next week.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Like, yeah, I look forward to seeing you next Monday and anyone else is hopping on the calls as well. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Cool. All
So
right.
look, enjoy the day and the blessings to you and your family and your son. You can like go and talk to him now and stuff like that. I'll get back to my family in a little while myself. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, man. Lots of love.
Thank you.
Nice to connect with you.
You too. Thank you. See you. Haribol.
Bye bye. I love the chance. Bye bye. See you, Blake.
Yeah, bye. See you.
There we go.